What's up guys? Today I'm going to take a look at the Marvel Shared Video Game Universe. And if you're asking yourself, what's the Marvel Shared Video Game Universe? I didn't know there was one. Well, there hasn't been an official announcement of one, but I do believe that there are a couple games that are connected that Marvel has the option to build out a Marvel Shared Video Games universe. And well, if they actually act on that, then I think that that would be a fantastic idea for Marvel and for Marvel games in the future. They've alluded to it in the past. They're kind of hush-hush on the whole concept. Whenever anyone asks them about it, they kind of deny it. But there are some Easter eggs that I have been looking at that I think could point towards a future Marvel Shared Games universe. Now, before I get started, if you enjoy watching my content or other video game content, or if you enjoy watching me play through entire video game franchises and ranking them along the way, well then I invite you to head on over to my channel, Trezinator. Please click that subscribe button, it would mean a great deal to me. And if you enjoy this video, please give it a big thumbs up. So with that out of the way, let's take a look at some of the games that Marvel has released within the past few years. So the first indication of a Marvel Shared Games universe came at 2018's Marvel's Spider-Man. And this was released on the PlayStation 4, and we do see Avengers Tower in the game, and when Spidey swings up to Avengers Tower, he says,
Avengers Tower is so cool, but they're never around to use it. I think they're probably somewhere on the West Coast right now. Probably surfing or something.
Now, some people thought this might be an Easter egg to the Avengers game that then came out a few years later. However, it was then debunked that they are not in the same universe. Marvel has come out and said they are not in the same universe, two completely different universes. And I mean, if you need further indication of this, then the Taskmaster that is in the Spider-Man game, he's a completely different Taskmaster than what we got in the Avengers game. Also, Marvel said that the Spider-Man that they're going to introduce into the Avengers game, at the time of this video, he has not come out yet, but the Spider-Man that they are going to introduce is going to be more of a rookie as opposed to the more seasoned Spider-Man that we see in the Spider-Man game. So Marvel Spider-Man was released in 2018, and there was much speculation on if it would connect with any other Marvel game. In 2020, we got two big Marvel game releases, one that no one really talks about, and that is Iron Man VR. Also a PlayStation exclusive. Now, much like Marvel's Spider-Man, Iron Man VR does talk about other Marvel superheroes. There are also heavy Easter eggs in Iron Man VR alluding to the greater Marvel universe within this game. And Iron Man VR actually alludes to some of the events that happened in Marvel's Spider-Man. Now, after you beat the Shanghai mission in Iron Man VR and you can enter free fly mode, you can go to the Oscorp building, and this can unlock some dialogue from Tony Stark that alludes to the Devil's Breath incident from Spider-Man.
Not surprising to see Norman Osborn make a play for the Chinese market. He's been gobbling up rival corporations for the past few years like he's planning something big. Might be worth looking into. But after what happened in New York, Osborn's on thin ice. He'd be crazy to push his luck any further.
Also in Iron Man VR, when you take a look at one of the tablets, there is a headline that also alludes to the same incident. Now, they don't just come outright and say it in the game, they kind of just allude to it. And I guess that's to kind of loosely give the Easter egg that they are connected in the same universe, but not actually confirming it. Another thing is the AIM logos in both Spider-Man and Iron Man VR are the same logo. This is another big indicator that they are in the connected universe, as the AIM logo in Marvel's Avengers is not the same, it's a completely different logo. So I actually think it's very high that these games are within the same universe. After all, Spider-Man acknowledges in his game that the Avengers exist and that they exist on the West Coast, that they're off being the West Coast Avengers. Tony Stark lives on the West Coast. We see from his West Coast mansion that is prominent in the game. So I think it's a very high probability that these two games are connected. And another reason why I think these two games are connected is because Ghost, who is the main villain in Iron Man VR, uses hard light technology that she stole from Tony Stark. Where else do we see hard light technology? Well, we see this with the Tinkerer in Spider-Man Miles Morales. There could be a connection between Tinkerer and Ghost with this technology. I mean, when I was playing through Miles Morales, this is exactly where my mind went of this looks very similar to the enemies that you would fight in Iron Man VR. So I'm going to go ahead and say that I believe these franchises to be connected and share the same Marvel universe. So what happened? They had the opportunity to connect this to Marvel's Avengers. Marvel's Avengers came out, sold pretty well, but the replay value, the end game did not really succeed in the way that Crystal Dynamics had hoped. It was very buggy. At the time of this video recording, it's still kind of picking itself up, and its name has been tainted a little bit, and that might be why Marvel kind of wants to distance the Avengers game from the rest of its properties. Also, when you take a look at the Guardians of the Galaxy game, at the time of this video, Guardians of the Galaxy has not been released yet, but when you take a look at it, it is strikingly similar to the Marvel's Avengers game. Now, this is just a theory, but I believe that they were initially going to have the Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy game be tied in with the Avengers game, but because of such poor reception that Avengers got, they decided to completely just cut ties with that. Now, that doesn't mean that they can't tie them in somewhere later down the line. I actually think that would be a great idea if Avengers actually manages to get back on its 2 feet. But as of right now, they're saying that they're not connected. However, it had been rumored that originally the Guardians game was planned to play a lot more similar to the Avengers game, where you could pick different Guardians instead of just being Star-Lord. I'm guessing that since Marvel's Avengers was such a flop, that they decided to just focus on the story mode and just kind of focus in on one character and get everything perfected for Star-Lord. I mean, it does make sense. People did praise Avengers for its story mode. I think this is probably the best decision to move forward for the Guardians of the Galaxy game. Maybe introduce other characters as DLC content later down the line. But also the look and the feel, the look of the characters, the feel of the combat, it looks so similar to the Avengers game. I don't see how these could not have been connected at one point. There's even a nameplate in the Avengers game that you can get that shows the Guardians of the Galaxy. It just doesn't make sense for these games not to be connected. I really think that they were, and then they just kind of cut it off. So only time will tell. I think it would be great for Marvel to kind of build up their video game and make a video game universe in the same way that they did their cinematic universe, but who knows? As of right now, it's still kind of a mess and they're still kind of figuring their way around it. I think that Marvel's Avengers has the potential to pick itself up, but they do have a long road ahead, so I don't know if that's ever going to happen. I don't think that they want to make the same mistakes with Guardians as they did with Avengers, so who knows? We'll have to play the waiting game and wait and see. There is nothing that I would love more than a Marvel shared video game universe. So that's my thoughts on this. That's my theory. I do believe that the Spider-Man and the Iron Man VR franchises are connected. I don't know if they'll ever flesh them out, but I do think that they share a same universe, as well as I think that the Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy game could share a same universe. I would love to see all of the universes combined, but I don't think that that's ever going to happen. I don't think that's something that we're going to see, not with these games at least. Let me know what you guys think of the Marvel shared video game universe. Let me know what you guys would want to see from Marvel. And if you like this video, it would mean a lot to me to give me a big thumbs up. And let me know some of your theories on the Marvel shared video game universe. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time.